Hey guys, this little piece of the puzzle or another connection that we found, it's one of the things that's been holding up NK8 because we've been spending a lot of time trying to just over verify it, I feel like. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to leave it out of 8, which is probably a better decision anyway, since this person's not part of public discovery. And I'm going to make a short video about it. And every time I find any kind of connection, I'll make a short video about it for Patreon only. Even though we haven't been able to necessarily concretely fit this one last piece, I'm very confident in what we found as far as the connection, and I'm very confident in our theory on Trent Bolte's role in this entire case. So of course you guys know from part 7 and the other video, for those of you who've been following all of the parts in the case closely, you guys know that Trent's first cousin Tara is friends with Danielle. It looks like they were friends prior to the murder, which is something that's extremely important that we always look for, because obviously there's a lot of people that try to follow people involved afterwards. I have this comment posted somewhere in Patreon. I think it's in March, and you'll see there's a post from a Josh Speakman. And Josh gets on and says, it's in NK5. He leaves me a comment that basically says, well, I'm so sorry there's not a handbook on how to handle it when your boyfriend kills his whole family. He goes on to say that he knows NK, that he has insider information, that she's got great moral character, blah, blah, blah. But the point of it is that it obviously caught people's attention because really not many people go on to defend her. Like hardly ever. In 8 videos, I hardly ever get anyone defending her. So thank you to this guy who got mad at me. It caused a lot of people to pay attention to him. A lot of people asked him for more information. He didn't really respond. And so we started digging into him. So the piece that I was talking about that we were looking for that we couldn't find, and I just got sick of wasting our time, is the direct connection between Josh and the other Speakmans that we found. Now, obviously, Josh could be using a fake name, and Josh could actually be one of these other people we found. So really, with what the coincidence is, I don't think that it matters, because I'm convinced that it's either them using a fake name, or it doesn't really matter, but there's no way that it's a coincidence. So again, really quick, as we know, before coming to Anadarko, NK worked at Halliburton in Evansville, Wyoming on a rig. She really did a good job at scrubbing any internet presence, but there were about 3 different websites that still have Evansville, Wyoming listed as one of her past addresses. So I don't think it's a coincidence that this guy that says he has inside information, he knows her, he knows things that we don't know, and vouches for her character. I don't think it's a coincidence that people with his same last name pop up working at the last place that she worked before Anadarko. So when we looked up Josh Speakman, there is a Josh Speakman in Colorado, but we paid attention to this Ricky Speakman. And Ricky Speakman, as you can see, is a field technician at Halliburton in Evansville, and he lives in Casper, Wyoming. And here's where it gets interesting and fun, because his wife currently works at this brake supply in Casper, Wyoming, but right before that, she worked at Halliburton as well. So you've got this husband and wife that are working at Halliburton, the same place that NK worked right before Anadarko. Obviously, they know her. So Ricky and Pam have 2 adult children, Justin and Jennifer. Jennifer is married to a guy named Luke Anderson. Again, this is all public info, but she has her mom listed as Pam and vice versa. So just so you can see how it all started, I start here with Ricky Speakman, and I just started clicking on, I made sure that Pam was his wife. I made sure that all of the relations were accurate. So then I clicked onto Jennifer, his daughter, and then I started going through her friends just on a hunch, and then lo and behold, she is buddies with Trent Bolte. Some other people that were looking into this as well looked up Jennifer's Instagram and saw that Trent follows her on Instagram and comments on a lot of her stuff, and the comments are pretty familiar. It doesn't seem like they're new friends either. There's comments from 2017 on there. So I guess it's just another coincidence that someone gets on to defend NK, ends up having the same last name as this family that's all ingrained in the oil and gas industry in Evansville in Casper, Wyoming, and they just so happen to be very close and friendly with Trent Bolte, who is a witness in the case. I'd love to know if there's anyone who really does not think that NK knows Trent at this point. I feel like we're almost beating a dead horse. I have zero doubts in my mind that they do know each other. And I find it hard to believe that law enforcement hasn't caught on to this or figured out these connections as well. I'm really just kind of astounded at some of the arrogance of some of the people involved in this case. I feel like they just completely were living in some kind of alternate reality where they thought they were just going to walk in there, lie, build this story, and no one was ever going to be the wiser. So there's a little bonus to NK Part 8. And like I said, any kind of new information or little connections that don't really warrant a whole video, or that I don't really feel comfortable making a huge public video on YouTube about, I will go ahead and add those into Patreon. And as usual, thank you so much for your support, and let me know what you think about everything in comments.